What's up, Southeast Michigan podcast? We're back after a 2-week-ish hiatus. The month of June is just absolutely crazy for me personally. I had my wedding anniversary, my birthday, my wife's birthday. It's just a crazy time. It's a crazy month. And after episode 50, when we had Jeff and Corey with us, we just kind of a lot going on. So thank you for hitting back here for number 51. Got a fun episode with you today or tonight, depending on when you listen. Right now, the Stanley Cup Finals is going on right now. It's 1-1, Edmonton in Florida. But we got some articles to get into, some portal and recruiting news. Since we last recorded, Michigan has, I think, put together 6 or 7 commitments. So once looking pretty bleak, Michigan has now risen up the rankings list, and whether you're looking at On3 or rivals, Michigan has Michigan has improved that optic. But the Southeast Michigan podcast, of course, as you know, free and available wherever you watch or listen. Again, including YouTube, we're up there now. So like, share, subscribe, click the bell. I'm going to be running some giveaway stuff here in the coming weeks. So if you want to be a part of that giveaway, whatever, just keep your eyes peeled for it. Like I said, we're going to be having some fun here, and we are approaching the college football video game release. That's only a few more weeks away, and this week as well, after this episode, you expect another one to drop, episode 52, because we are going to begin the season preview breakdown of every Big Ten team for 2024. Last year, we had our 14 teams, and I don't believe we started this early with the preview. We could have, but I don't think it was till July. But now with 18 teams, we got an additional 4 to cover. We're going to be following the same footprint as last season, doing 2 teams per episode, all the way up till the grand finales, which is going to be Ohio State, Michigan, which are going to have a dedicated full episode to that. Otherwise, yeah, look out for 2 teams each episode. So let's get into our 2 segments tonight. First segment, again, recruiting, transfer portal stuff, and then we have after Ann Arbor. So if you're listening to this for the first time after Ann Arbor, I don't know exactly when or what episodes we did them in so far, but after Ann Arbor is kind of a segment where I go back and revisit some Michigan players from our past, whether they played one game and disappeared, whether they played 1 season, 4 seasons, whatever. We tackle them all. So again, I don't know what episodes we specifically did them. I think we must have started in August last year, but we know we've done Sam McGuffey, Michael Cox. We've done Craig Rowe, rest in peace. We've done numerous others, but today we got one for you. And when we jump into segment 2, we got a couple articles that we'll read together and discuss briefly. And instead of saying news and notes, I feel like that is like pretty generic, and a lot of other podcasts use that. So, and it's probably not much better. But we'll call this now headlines and stuff, and we're gonna move that to segment 2 because that will kind of just play into the said articles. So segment 1 here. Obviously, the portal's closed, but we still have a lot of Michigan players still yet, or former Michigan players yet to decide. I'm not really going into in depth, but I know Christian Dixon still has yet to pick a destination. Uh, I wanted to say when I was doing the notes, I'm like, what about Jake Thaw? But we mentioned when it happened that Jake Thaw picked Delaware, so he's essentially wearing the winged helmet. But um, not much else, I guess, really going on. The Wolverines decided to rock their quarterback room, so we obviously didn't see a quarterback come in. I guess we do have Carmelo English. He's been in the portal since March. He is now reportedly heading to West Georgia. Thought that was pretty interesting. According to On3, he's going to West Georgia. The article mentioned that he added at UWG in his bio on Instagram. But when you click on that handle, it takes you to a account with like 79,000 followers, and it looks to be like an Arabic writing. It looks like a foreign person's account. So I don't know if that's just a typo or I don't know a mistake, whatever. But I mean, as a whole, everybody's been pretty much confirming that he is going to West Georgia, and it's just that was one of those moves where it's just a head scratcher because obviously it could be well in line for um, some PT on the field this year. But yeah, I guess it's just once an Auburn commit, then flip to Michigan, and then this is where he's headed. So, anyways, uh, hasn't drugged Michigan through the dirt, so there's no ill will. This is an interesting choice. All right, so as I was actually writing this episode last night, mainly uh, the 23rd. Today's is June 24th. Uh, I completely would have if we went live last night. We completely would have missed the two extra additional pledges they have today. So we'll get to that right now. So the 2025 class, 4-star running back Georgia from Georgia, Donovan Johnson. Rivals has listed 28 other offers, notably from Alabama and Ohio State. Now Donovan Johnson, of course, when he committed the other day, Ohio State fans on Twitter are basically, blah blah. We cooled on him, this and that, which in part is the truth. Apparently there has been a numerous team or a handful of teams that have kind of lost contact or cooled on Donovan Johnson because he I guess had a torn ACL last season in high school. So there's obviously some concern there, but Sharon Moore and the Wolverines stayed persistent and they got him to commit. So they got Jasper Parker just recently, um, which he's another one here on this list. Parker has 25 offers again, most notably Alabama and Florida State. So the running back is the room in that position is pretty healthy and full. Stable's full of guys, bodies, um, and you're gonna take a shot on Donovan Johnson, who could heal up and get right back out there. According to Sam Webb from WTKA, the ticket I think he was either this morning or yesterday on the radio saying that. He hears that Donovan Johnson is about 95% healthy, so that's good news. And hopefully he contributes and has a successful career in Ann Arbor, as well as Jasper Parker. Next, this was last week. 4-star safety Keona Winston from Washington D.C. committed. He held 24 offers, and Michigan was pretty much battling out Penn State and Georgia, LSU and Ohio State at the end there. And so Winston, Pennsylvania kid, coming over for the Wolverines. Next one, this was actually just a few days after episode 50, and that when we posted that was like June 5th or 6th or 4th or 5th. Was a 4-star defensive end Jalen Williams from Illinois. He held 32 offers, most notably from damn near everybody. So not a bad slew here. What else am I missing? Oh, and then today, 3-star linebacker Chase Taylor from Georgia. Also offers from Tennessee, Florida State, LSU, USC. 4-star wide receiver Jacob Washington from Louisiana. He's got offers from Arkansas, Miami, and Penn State. So with these additions and more on the commit watch, Michigan has slid into, again, that top 30-ish ranking when they were previously just south of 50. If you go on to On3, it's a drastic difference even from, because when I say top 30, that's about where Rivals has them. You have to kind of look at the composite between all the recruiting sources, but to go to On3, I think Michigan is. Excuse me, I'm tired. Michigan is, I think, cracking the top 15. I think they're 13 or 14th. Let's see here. Regarding the 2026 class, of course, I created a wave on Twitter. Michigan landed 4-star quarterback Brady Hart. Brady Hart had received an offer from Ohio State the same day, while the 2026 is sometime from now. Keep a close watch over Notre Dame and other rival schools trying to pursue or continue to pursue him. So that was obviously a huge get. So now you have, on paper, as a prospect, highly rated guys waiting in the wings behind Alex Horgy at the moment. Jay Davis, of course, Brady Hart, and Carter Smith, is it, in the 25 class. So you got some guys, got some talented guys, that's for sure. Also, I something worth to note. Sometimes I miss things, and I mean this happened back on April 9th, and I can't remember if I mentioned this in the show, but if you guys, I guess if you were wondering where Yusuf Kayat went, he is transferring to Bowling Green, and George Washington also found a home in Richmond. So the former Michigan guys found homes. Good for them, and wish them success. And see, I want to say that's about it. I want to say I'm missing one more recruit, but I'm not. So it was Donovan Johnson, Jasper Parker, Keanu Winston, Jen Williams, and then it was Chase Taylor and Jacob Washington. That was today. Okay. So essentially, Michigan has so they picked up. Why are my settings open? Picked up 6 or 7 since we last spoke. Alrighty, let's get into after Ann Arbor. After Ann Arbor, we got one profile to get to on this fine Monday evening. So, from the class of 2005, 4-star athlete Antonio Bass. From Jackson, Michigan, Bass held at least 7 offers according to Rivals.com. LSU, Michigan, Michigan State, Notre Dame, Penn State, Virginia Tech, and Syracuse. The 2005 class finished 6th in the recruiting rankings with 23 commits. Some notable players a part of this class were Mario Manningham, Terrence Taylor, Zoltan Mesko, and Kevin Grady. We get over here to his Wikipedia page. Bass attended Jackson High School in Jackson, Michigan, where he had 276 carries for 2,177 yards and 30 rushing touchdowns during his career. He also completed 55 of 161 passes for 999 yards and 14 passing touchdowns. Bass set the school record for passing touchdowns in a season in 2003 with 10, and also holds the school record for most career touchdowns with 45. He was named to the All-State First Team, and he was also named an All-American by Super Prep magazine, and was a top-rated player in the state of Michigan by the Detroit News. He also played 4 years of baseball and 3 years of basketball in high school. College career. In his career at Michigan, Bass played in 10 games, all in 2005, carried the ball 19 times for 81 yards, and caught 8 passes for 64 yards. In 2006, Bass sustained a serious knee injury prior to spring practice. Bass suffered nerve damage, which prior to physical therapy had completely immobilized his foot. Although Bass had worked for several years to rehabilitate his injury, in February 2009, Michigan coach Rich Rodriguez announced that Bass's medical situation will prevent him from returning to the team. Bass remained on scholarship as he worked towards a degree in communications. Former Michigan coach Lloyd Carr said Bass's injury, the impact his quote, the impact his loss had on our program can't be measured because he could do so many things. Medically, what we're all hoping is that he can lead a normal life and go play pickup basketball. End quote. So I thought I would bring up Antonio Bass. One of my kind of, again, what ifs, right? Um, 2005 Michigan had kind of an up and down year, right? They lose in a wild finish to Nebraska in the Alamo Bowl, which technically was in '06, right? The winner of '05, '06. And, they had a few games that they could really hang their hat on. One of them was, beating undefeated Penn State at home with 1 second left to Mario Manningham. And that was, I think, Penn State's I think their only loss that season, and they played in the Orange Bowl because of it, not the Natty. But Antonio Bass, had a few moments there where he made plays, especially in that Penn State game, and that was just something where, like, I was in high school at the time, and I didn't really have, maybe I misremember, but I didn't really have, it was kind of like, one day it's like, where'd Antonio go? You know what I mean? And so it's unfortunate that an injury ended his playing career, and I didn't realize it was ever that bad to where he had nerve damage and didn't have a damn foot, essentially. There was an article that was tied to that Wikipedia bit right there, and it was uh, that bit about Rich Rodriguez talking about him not being able to come back. Um, it was a lengthy article, and at the very end is when it mentions Antonio Bass, and there was another one in there, another player, Chris McLaurin, which I think he was a 4-star end, maybe a linebacker. I can't remember his position, but that was another player where he medically had to retire, and I mean it happened so long ago I don't even remember. But unfortunate. All right. So after Ann Arbor, we knocked another one out, Antonio Bass, and we are going to take a break, hear from our sponsor, and then when we come back, we'll get into the news headlines for the week. When our community wins with us, we want to ensure you've maximized your ROI. Line shopping for the best odds matters, and that is why any profitable sports bettor needs to be using multiple sports books. Thankfully, there's never been a better time to get signed up. And we are here to connect you with the best promotions industry-wide. Using our link, signupexpert.com/southeast, you can get access to all of the sportsbooks in your region, along with a review of each platform and its unique features. Most importantly, this page automatically connects you to the top promotions at each book, allowing you to start line shopping with an enhanced bankroll. If you want to take advantage of these benefits and support our brand, please consider signing up for your next sportsbook at signupexpert.com/southeast. Alrighty, back for segment 2. We got an Athlon Sports article pertaining to what Pat McAfee said recently regarding walk-ons. Let's get into it. Let me pop up this browser for y'all and make my face disappear. All right, so Pat McAfee's emotional appeal to save crucial college football roster spot. This is again on Athlon Sports from Jaron Spoor on June 22nd. In college football, there are numerous heartwarming tales of walk-on players who, after demonstrating exceptional dedication and tenacity, are awarded scholarships. Regrettably, this long-standing tradition may be nearing its end. In the ongoing House vs. NCAA settlement, roster limits may be implemented pending judicial approval, causing concerns about the fate of walk-ons. Multiple head coaches have voiced support for walk-ons. Excuse me. Now the coaches have been joined by College Game Day personality Pat McAfee. On a recent episode of the Pat McAfee Show, Pat McAfee, emotionally appealed to keep walk-ons, calling the elimination stupid. Quote, the fact that there's a thought that we need to eliminate walk-ons from big-time college football is so stupid, end quote, McAfee said. It also makes me believe that a lot of people make these decisions don't know ball. Suppose we've got people who don't know ball making decisions in this transition era of college football. In that case, we need to figure that out. We need to cut that out, and we need to preserve this sport and make this sport as great as it possibly can be while transitioning with people that understand what the hell is going on in locker rooms, in sport, in football as a whole. McAfee stated he believes walk-ons are the heart and soul of college football, emphasizing their love for the game and their significant contribution to a team chemistry and locker room culture. McAfee said receiving a scholarship is an excellent moment, not just for the player, but for the entire team. Although a decision hasn't been made yet, many people will undoubtedly oppose it if it were to be approved. So there you go, words from Pat McAfee. Now, for food for thought here, notable college walk-ons all time. There's a massive list, right? I wrote down three. With some little notes there to add on, and then I named some honorable mentions here. So there's some players that we just can't forget about, and these are mostly recent here. But like a guy like Hunter Renfrow from Clemson, 186 receptions, 2,133 yards, and 15 touchdowns in 4 seasons, including the game-winning touchdown catch in the Natty from Deshaun Watson. Okay, obviously huge. I don't think he's with an NFL team right now, but he was on my Raiders, and it sucks to see him go. It was one of those things where it's like, we have to make cap space. This is where we have to make it from. This is just unfortunate, but the dude is an absolute dog, route runner extraordinaire. But yeah, Hunter Renfrow is one of my notables here. Next one, J.J. Watt from Wisconsin. Once a two-star tight end recruit who committed to Central Michigan, Watt was asked to move to offensive line and instead transferred to Wisconsin as number 99 and became that complete menace off the edge that we all know. Obviously, won Defensive Player of the Year for the Houston Texans. If I'm not mistaken, he won it twice. You have next here Baker Mayfield from Oklahoma. Walked on as a true freshman at Texas Tech, turning down several D1 offers at schools like Rice and FAU. And after transitioning to Oklahoma for his final 3 years, Baker never threw below 3,700 yards and 36 touchdown passes, and he went out to win the Heisman. Like, Baker Mayfield's collegiate stats are absolutely fantastic. So those are, three big ones there in recent memory. Now, honorable mentions here that I won't go into full detail length is Jordy Nelson from Kansas State, Clay Matthews from USC, ironically, two Green Bay Packers right there, Matt McGloin from Penn State, and, was kind of a glue guy, right, after transitioning from the whole Jerry Sandusky, Joe Paterno thing, that era. And then you had Stetson Bennett, of course, from Georgia, who played in college football for 18 years. So there are some guys there that are, should never be forgotten. And I agree with Pat McAfee. I think limiting roster spots would be stupid, especially in college. Again, not all of them are on scholarship. I know it costs, still costs the school money for, apparel, clothes and the logistics, all that stuff like that. But you're right. He's right. They are a lot of time glue locker room guys. They do a lot of things behind the scenes that we don't even see on the field, and it's just kind of like the strength and conditioning staff, right? You don't really see them a whole lot, but they are with the student athletes nearly every day while they are there, right? So I agree. It'd be silliness to trim down the roster. Um, all right, and let's get into our second article before we close out today's episode. This one is June signing period shot down. Um, Let me move over to this next tab right here. Let's see, can you see it? Yes, you can. So, no June signing window for college football on horizon. So, this was on MSN.com. Story by Eli Letterman 2 days ago. Actually, this might be 3 days ago because I haven't refreshed this page. So here we go. College commissioners passed on taking a formal vote on the addition of June high school signing period during Collegiate Commissioners Association meetings this week, veering away from a potentially seismic shift in college football recruiting calendar. Per ESPN's Pete Thamel, commissioners voted the introduction of a June signing window in a straw vote Wednesday and essentially confirmed that decision by not taking a formal vote during meetings Thursday. In the 2025 cycle, the early signing period will open on December 4th, 2024, followed by the traditional signing period starting on February 5th. Buzz around June signing window for high school recruits has persisted across the country in recent years as the transfer portal and now expanded 12-team college football playoff have converged on early signing period, the window in which college football programs have formally signed the bulk of the recruiting classes since the introduction in 2017. Initial change came for the recruiting calendar during commissioners' meetings earlier this year. In March, the association voted to move the early signing period from the third Wednesday in December to the Wednesday prior to the slate of FBS Conference Championship games in the first week of the month. During those same meetings, commissioners discussed but ultimately tabled the possibility of adding a June recruiting window until this week's meetings. Had the commissioners chosen to adopt this policy this week, the June signing window would have debuted in June 2025 with the class of 2026. The introduction of a June signing window has bubbled in the broader discussion around the recruiting calendar and its place in the ever evolving of modern college football. Proponents of the June signing window pointed to a potential benefits for both high school prospects and the college football programs recruiting them. For instance, a June signing period would have handed high school recruits the opportunity to sign their national letters of intent unencumbered by the wave of transfer portal entries in the weeks following the college football regular season and the ability to snuff out the so-called uncommittable offers. Programs often extend far out from official signing windows. For college programs, which spend the spring hosting hundreds of recruits on campus, the June window would have provided coaches a chance to lock in the bulk of an upcoming signing class by early summer, a payoff for coaching and recruiting staffs across the country following the wave of camps and recruiting visits. Additionally, a June window could have allowed coaches to approach the football season unburdened by the pressure of scouting, recruiting, and closing out the next signing class over the course of the fall. Per Thamel, high school coaches in the states, including Alabama, Georgia, Tennessee, were among the most outspoken detractors of adding a June signing window. Critics of the June signing period have often pointed to the trickiness of allowing prospects to sign letters of intent prior to the inevitable coaching carousel that unfolds each fall. Other aspirations casts have included the value of scouting departments still place on the senior season evaluation window for high school recruits. Questions over whether prospects would even utilize the June signing window and the prickly possibility of high school players sitting out their senior seasons after signing a letter of intent during the summer. The addition of a June signing window is tabled for now. However, discussions around fundamental changes to the recruiting calendar and opinions on the matter from coaches, administrators, and commissioners are sure to continue as college football searches for relief in the month of December, increasingly becoming the sport's busiest month. Whew. All right, so let me know what you guys think regarding the walk-ons and what Pat McAfee said, and also with the early signing period. With the walk-ons, again, I'd like to reiterate that I think it'd be a stupid idea. And with the early signing period, that one bit there at the end of that last bit that we read with college, or excuse me, high school students potentially sitting out their senior year because they've already signed their letter of intent. I mean, that's a slippery slope, and I feel like when you're that young of a player, I know again we talk about the risk of injury all the time, with the bowl games and stuff, but like as a high school player, like there's you're still a very young person. You're still trying to develop physically. Feel like if you sit out, that that might be a more of a negative than a positive to that person, particularly just trying to, as a growth and growth perspective. Um, so that's it. That's the episode, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for watching or listening. Like I said, the next episode will come out this week as well because we're going to be starting our Big Ten season preview. Our first two teams are going to be on deck: Purdue and UCLA. We'll get into that. And like I said, two teams each episode until we get to Michigan, Ohio State. And we are going to go through their offseason notes, their key losses, key additions, and of course we will go game by game through their schedule, and I will give you my wholehearted, honest opinion on where their wins and losses will come from. All right. So again, in the description box below will be links to all the social media accounts affiliated with this podcast. My name is Daniel. Thank you for joining me. Please rate us 5 stars if you can. Rate me 5 stars if you can. I guess I could say, and then hit that subscribe and bell on YouTube. Like I said, look out for some giveaways in the near future. We are going to have some fun this fall. Go Blue. See you in the next one.